I'm Amanda Mackey, and this is my Learner Differences presentation. My background is I'm the oldest of 5 children. I have an intuitive personality. I'm a problem solver. I'm other-directed and spontaneous. My earliest memory is of a lady who lived downstairs who would come watch us swim in the pool, and I have memories of her being grumpy and mean to us. And I'm not sure if it's because she was or because my mom really hated that she painted her toenails red. Tulving says an integral part of the representation of a remembered experience is an episodic memory is its reference to the rememberer's knowledge of his personal identity. My hobbies and passions are baking, reading, volunteering, my family, and cooking. Flow theorist Mackenzie Sun and Holliner said, flow theorists contend that people enjoy and are intrinsically motivated by an optimal balance between perceived challenges and skills. An example of this would be when I started college. At the very beginning, taking classes that I was not especially interested in, I was motivated by the reward of getting an A from an external source. Once I got to my 3rd year and started taking classes in a subject I was more interested in, I became more intrinsically motivated. I was very excited and interested in what I was learning about, and it was hard to put things down and stop reading. My daily routine revolves around my children, my husband, school, and my friends. I try to fit all in as balanced as possible. I can tell when something's getting out of balance because I have unhappiness in me. According to Kolb, in addition to knowing how we think and how we feel, we must also know when behavior is governed by thought and when by feeling. In addition to addressing the nature of specialized human functions, experiential learning theory is also concerned with how these functions are integrated by the person into a holistic, adaptive posture toward the world. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better at integrating all of these things together. My frustrations and emotions buttons are, my first one is feeling frustration around feeling powerless. I do not like to feel powerless, and I like to be able to solve my own situation. This makes me unhappy, and I can get into a circle of feeling bad for myself, which is another button that I do not like, whining and feeling sorry for myself. These things make me angry, and I have to be careful not to get into a cycle of feeling bad. Feeling appreciated and accomplishing things makes me happiest. I look for ways to do these things. Fallon says, individual differences in constructive thinking may shape the interpretations of mood in the decision-making context that determine whether negative emotions are used as a motivator to drive determined effort or shape of sense of resignation and apathy. My believed intelligences from the beginning of the class were interpersonal linguistic. I learned best from discussing, talking, analogy. I like to liken an idea to something I already understand for my brain to assimilate and deal with the perturbation and accommodate new information. Online classes are difficult for me as they are mostly intrapersonal and require reading and little active conversation or ability to ask questions and make analogies. I have to work extra hard to make sure I understand a concept and talk about it with whoever will listen to have it stick in my mind in a way that I can use creatively and at a later date. I like to know both sides of an idea before I feel comfortable committing to it. In 2014, it was, and I can't pronounce his name, said, when an important goal is pursued with resolution and all of one's varied activities fit together into a unified flow experience, the result is harmony. Purpose, resolution, and harmony unify life and give it meaning. Sometimes you have to change your intrinsic and external motivators so that you can get something hard done that you don't want to. My first memory of a tragedy is when I was 14 and going to a school dance for the first time and feeling very pretty when I left and not getting asked to dance and being devastated afterwards. This caused me to have a little bit of a identity crisis through middle school and high school. Bandura's social cognitive theory talks about self-efficacy and how the perceived self can be affected by others and have effect on performance, ability, and behaviors. I think when we are younger, this is especially important. One of my earliest memories of victory is being asked to play Charlotte in 3rd grade in the play Charlotte's Web. I was shy, and this was a way that I felt like I was noticed. In closing, I'd like to do a quote from Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Thank you.